7 o'clock, and welcome to Operation Remote Resilience. My name is Christie, and I'm the Executive Director of Warrior Cities, and tonight we'll be doing an all levels yoga class. And you'll hear me use the word or, and that is to let you do a little bit of exploring. So you can stay here or you can stay here. You can stay here or you can go here. And the best part is the or isn't better, it isn't worse, it's just different. And so if you try one of the ors and it doesn't feel that great, you're more than welcome to come back down. We are going to start in a comfortable seat today. I recommend that you either use a blanket or a pillow or a bolster if you have it. I went ahead and just used a blanket and a pillow. I'm actually going to use both just to prop the seat up. We're going to raise the hips above the knees, and it just gives the muscles and the tendons in the hips a little bit of foundation so that they can release. So coming into a comfortable seat, I like to place my feet out in front of me and my hands on my thighs. You can always sit cross-legged or comfortable seat, but like I said, this is just more comfortable in my body. You have either of those options. And we'll start just by taking some small movements of the spine. On your next inhale, you'll feel the spine lengthen and the chest will start to reach toward the ceiling. You can even press against the thighs to get a little bit of length. As you exhale, round the upper back towards the ceiling. The arms can come out in front and the chin can come towards the chest. On an inhale, finding that length, so the hands can press down or they can just rest gently on the thighs. And you can make these movements as big or as small as you would like. So maybe it's a simple lift of the chest and a shifting of the gaze. Maybe it's big exaggerated movements with the arms, spreading out and rounding. Inhales as you expand the chest up. Exhales as you round. Inhaling, expanding, and remembering that you can change what you're doing with your arms at any time. 3 more rounds of breath just like that. On your exhales, letting the shoulders get heavy. And on your inhales, there's the experience or the feeling of lightness. And if it's not there, it's okay. Last one. Coming back to neutral, extending the left arm out from the left shoulder, and you can keep a little bend in it if you would like. And we'll start to expand the palm away from the body and then tipping the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then we'll move everything inwards, so fingertips reach in, ear comes to the other shoulder. On your inhale, reaching back out with both. As you exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach it out. Notice if the shoulder reaches up towards the ear, place it back down. Inhale, come in. Exhale out. You got 3 more rounds and you can play with bending or straightening the arm. And coming back to neutral. Switching sides, so this time extending the right arm out, right palm flips to face the ceiling. And as you inhale, we'll start to reach out. So we're bringing the left ear to the left shoulder. Fingertips reach away. As you exhale, bring it in. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale out, and then starting to play between bent and straight. It's up to you. Working towards your last one. Then bringing the hands back down onto the thighs. And again, your knees can be bent, or you can be sitting in a comfortable seat cross-legged. And we'll start by taking the right hand to the back of the right hip. And on an inhale, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, begin to open the chest up towards the right. And this left hand can stay here on this left thigh, or it can begin to reach over towards the right. And we're not cranking. On the inhale, we'll feel length. And on the exhale, this hugging towards the midline is everything. And then feeling how that stabilizes the spine and allows the twist to happen. Big inhale. As you exhale, find a little heaviness in the shoulders, maybe even in the jaw. Last round. Inhale here. Exhale, stay. Gently release. Switching sides. So this time the left hand comes onto the back of the left hip. And again, starting by inhaling and finding a little bit of length, maybe even using that hand as something to press again. And as you exhale, starting to open the chest up towards the left. On the inhales, finding length. And as you exhale, finding this hugging towards the middle, the supporting of the spine through the middle. One more round of breath here. Inhaling, maybe feeling the lower belly rise. Exhaling, the shoulders get heavy. Coming back to center. And then bringing the left hand down beside you, and you'll let the fingertips point out and the thumb will come in towards the body. And then start to extend your right arm up and over. The palm's gonna face the left side. And on an inhale, we're gonna reach those left fingertip, or the right fingertips up and over to the left. On an inhale, move through center, and we'll begin to switch sides as we exhale. So moving as we exhale, and then we'll arrive on this other side. And on an inhale, find a little length through the left side body. And as you exhale, let the shoulders get heavy. Inhale, come back up through the center. As you exhale, moving over to the other side. Finding space on an inhale. Exhale, the shoulders get heavy. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, switch. Finding length on an inhale. Finding a little heaviness in the shoulders as you exhale. On your next inhale, come back through center. And then we'll make our way to the middle of the mat. And I'm going to be facing you, but you guys can face long ways on your mat. So removing this either blanket, pillow, bolster, whatever you have, or if you were just sitting there, that's fine too, but moving it over to the side. I'm going to face you guys so you can see my wrists, but you guys can move towards the center of your mat. And so we'll find the wrists underneath of the shoulders and the knees underneath of the hips. And take a look down at the index fingers, spread the fingers nice and wide. Pressing down through all of the finger pads of the hands, and then just start to make circles with the upper body. And then checking back in with the breath. Doesn't have to be a certain length or a certain depth, it's just there. And not only is it there, but we're noticing it. Feeling the weight shift from the outsides of the hands to the insides of the hands. The weight shift in different parts of the knees. Maybe there's a few cracks. And then switch directions. Notice if there's a difference moving from one side to the other. And then checking back in with the breath. What does it feel like to inhale? And what does it sound like to exhale? What does it sound like to inhale? And what does it feel like to exhale? Coming back through the middle and then spinning the right fingertips to face the right side of the room and the left fingertips to face the left side of the room. And they don't have to go all the way there. If they're at a 45-degree angle, that's okay too. And then just finding those same circles, starting in one direction and bringing your awareness back to the palms and the fingers and just noticing the shift in the weight, the sensation underneath of the hands. Maybe it's smooth, maybe it's rough. Switching directions. And then noticing if there's a difference from moving in one side and then moving in the other. And then coming back to the center, sit the hips to the heels and the toes can either be tucked or untucked. And then just interlace the fingers and press the palms forward and then switching, pressing the knuckles forward. Going back and forth. Maybe even starting to move with the breath, inhaling as you reach the palms out. Exhaling as you reach the knuckles out. 2 more, inhale. Exhale here. Gently release, and then I'm going to turn to face long ways on my mat, and you guys should already be there. And we'll begin to make our way to a lunge with our left foot forward. And from here on out in the class, I'm going to be doing the exact same side as you guys, whereas at the beginning of the class, I was mirroring. So beginning to work the left foot forward into a lunge. And the knee can be stacked or it can be a little wider of a stance. It's kind of up to you and what feels best in your body. And if you have a blanket or a pillow, you can place that blanket or pillow underneath. And then from here, we'll just bring the left forearm down onto the left thigh with the palm facing the ceiling and extending the right fingertips forward. Maybe even beginning to feel the chest reach up. Finding length all through the right side of the body and through the right side and the front of the right hip. Inhales, the lower belly expands. Exhale, stay. Big inhale here. Exhale, stay. Bringing the right arm back in, and then you'll switch the right and the left arm. So begin to bring the right arm onto the right thigh, or right arm onto the left thigh with the palm facing the ceiling. And you'll take your left thumb and just hook it in your left hip, leaving it there. On your next inhale, finding length through the spine and through the center of the body. And then as you exhale, beginning to spin the chest open towards the left side of the room. And it doesn't have to go all the way there. It can be an incredibly subtle, small movement, just finding a little bit of opening. Checking back in with the breath. What does it feel like to inhale? And what does it sound like to exhale? Maybe there's a little tension in the left leg. It's starting to feel a little bit of fatigue. Releasing the right arm down and then kickstanding the right foot about a 45-degree angle towards the left side of the room, putting a bend into the left knee. Left forearm comes to the left thigh and the right hand comes to the right hip. This grounded warrior two or grounded side angle. Inhale, finding length through both of the left and the right side of the body. Exhale, stay. Inhale, feeling the lower belly expand. Exhale, stay. Last one, inhale here. And as you exhale, the shoulders get heavy. Gently release the hands down, kickstand that right ankle back in line with the right knee, and we'll make our way back to that tabletop, the knees underneath of the hips and the shoulders overneath of the wrists. And I'm going to switch directions, but you guys stay right where you are. We'll still be in that tabletop. And then this time working the right leg towards that lunge. And if the foot doesn't make it all the way there, using that right hand to help it forward. And then taking a second, finding whether or not you need that back hip stacked over the knee, or maybe extending this front foot forward for a little bit longer stance, whichever one is best for your body. And then taking the right hand to the right thigh, palm faces up. And then extending the left fingertips out in front of you. On an inhale, find a little length, a little opening through the chest. Exhale, shoulders get heavy. Inhale, reach. Inhale, get the shoulders heavy. Inhale, finding opening. As you exhale, noticing the sensation in the left hip. And switching the right arm with the left, so the forearm comes down onto the thigh, but the palm faces the ceiling. And then taking that right thumb, hooking it in the right hip. On an inhale, find length in the spine and get long through the top of the head. And as you exhale, we'll begin to open the chest up towards the right. And again, these movements are up to you. It can be the smallest, almost unnoticeable opening. Or we can begin to stack the right shoulder on top of the left. And if we go into stacking and then that doesn't feel okay, coming back down. And then noticing the breath, inhaling, feeling the lower belly expand. Exhale, release. Maybe even inhaling, big inhale, and on your next inhale, exhaling through the mouth nice and loud. Last breath here, inhale. Exhale. The left hand down, and we'll kickstand that left foot about 45 degrees towards the right side of the room. And like I said, if you've got a blanket or a pillow and you'd like to have it under the knee, that's always available to you. And then moving that right arm back to where it was, or palm facing the ceiling, forearm down, and then bringing the left hand onto the left hip. Inhaling here. Exhaling, shoulders get heavy. Inhaling, feeling the lower belly expand. Exhaling, noticing the sensation in the right hip. It doesn't have to feel good. It doesn't have to feel any certain way, and you don't have to define it. We're just noticing. One more round of breath here. Gently release the arms. And we'll make our way all the way down onto our seats. So maybe the knees go one way and the hips go the other, whichever way makes sense in your body. And then we'll make our way onto our seats, and the feet come out in front, bending the knees and planting the soles onto the mat, and then taking the hands behind you, facing the fingertips out and the thumbs facing towards one another. On an inhale, just finding a little length through the spine, maybe even the shoulders get a little bit more broad. And then this is perfectly fine. You can always stay here, or you can begin to work up onto the balls of the feet, sitting the hips and the shoulders a little back. But if we lost the breath, coming back to where we were, is the breath is really this vehicle to understand the movements. We're able to access the breath. So staying here or up onto the toes. And then staying there, or you can begin to play with lifting one leg. Exhale, tap. Inhale, center. Exhale, tap. Inhaling, center. And if you took those taps, we have one round of breath. You can take that again, or just finding one more round of breath, sitting up nice and tall with the feet planted firmly on the ground. Last round of breath here. Whenever you're finished, extending the right leg out. And then we'll cross the left leg up and over the right. Left fingertips are still grounded down behind you, but this time the fingertips are facing behind you and the thumb is facing in towards the body or out towards the left. And then starting just by and a little settle on the exhale. Your last round of breath, extending the legs and switching sides. So the left leg will be straight, and I'm going to go ahead and spin around on my mat so I can keep facing you guys, but you'll begin to cross your right leg up and over the left. So crossing the right leg up and over the left, fingertips reach out behind you. And then again, just hugging that knee in, finding 3 rounds of breath here, inhaling, finding length. And then exhaling, just noticing what's touching the mat underneath of you, the weight of the hips and the weight of the left leg or the right foot. The right fingertips pressing down into the mat. One more round of breath here. And releasing the legs. We'll come all the way down onto our backs, and we have 2 more postures, and I will continue to do those 2 last postures with you. But when we settle in, we'll go into a little bit of a yoga rest, and I'll come back to a seat, but I'll let you know as I do all of that. So coming all the way down onto our backs, and if you would like to have a blanket around here for your hips, I suggest moving it to arm's reach. So coming all the way down. And then walking the feet out towards the outer edges of the mat. And then letting both knees fall down into the right so they're staggered. And the arms can stay down by the sides, or the arms can come to a cactus, or the arms can even come all the way overhead, whichever feels best for you. Inhaling, feeling the lower belly rise. As you exhale, let the head and the neck and the shoulders get heavy down into the mat or the carpet or the blanket, whatever is underneath of you. Inhaling, lower belly rises. Exhale, finding a little release in the hips, allowing the mat or the floor to hold you up. On your next inhale, coming through center and up and over to the left. If you need to switch your arms, you can. Inhaling, finding expansion. As you exhale, feeling this floor support you. Inhale here, finding a bit more expansion. As you exhale, letting the legs get heavy down into the mat. On your next inhale, come back up through the center. Moving into our last posture, if you know you'd like something underneath of your hips, you can go ahead and place a blanket or a pillow underneath. But we'll keep the feet nice and wide towards the outer edges of the mat, and we'll let the knees fall in towards one another so that they're holding each other up. And you guys are going to stay here, and I'll start to come to a comfortable seat. So staying here with the hips heavy and the knees falling in towards one another, with the feet nice and wide. As you breathe, bringing your awareness or your attention to the space around the eyes. Feeling the muscles around the eyes. Maybe feeling the eyes themselves get heavy. And then bringing your awareness to your jaw. Maybe letting the lower jaw fall away from the upper jaw. Maybe the tongue falls away from the roof of the mouth. Maybe the lips part. Maybe the shoulders are heavy enough that they move away from one another. Feeling the shoulder blades lay down onto the back. Maybe the palms are facing up or facing down, but whichever one, noticing the weight of the arms down into the mat. So the forearms, the hands, and then noticing the rise and fall of the chest. The rise and fall of the belly as you breathe, and we're not trying to change or control the breath. We're just noticing. You can keep the knees bent, or you can extend them all the way out to straight, whichever one would serve you best. Taking a second to notice if there was a shift or a change in the thoughts or in the body. It Operation Remote Resilience. I hope that you enjoyed this class and it served you well. Please consider visiting the link down below or leaving us a comment or a like, or even following the link to help support us keeping these classes going. This is Christie signing off of Operation Remote Resilience in health, resilience, and connection. Take your time starting to move. Maybe wiggling the toes or the fingers. And take as much time as you need to leave your mat